I've just set up the dial gauge. I've got a large foot on the bottom, and just going to run it along the top here just to see how out of level it is if I'm going to machine the tops of these. Now I know that when I cut this plate off, this hung on this end, so I'm suspecting this is going to be a lot lower than that end. I should think this end's going to be higher. So we'll run it along and we'll see what happens. Right, let's zero this out. There we are, okay. Right, let's run her on. So it's dropping. It's come back up again. That's unusual. I didn't think that was going to happen. Ah, well, that's interesting anyway. Yes, the reason it dropped is obviously because I've got a slight shrinkage here on the N primarily and a little bit on the O, so that's not surprising it did that. What is surprising though, that this end is not a million miles away from this end, a lot less than I thought it was going to be. Obviously when I cut this off, literally there really wasn't much in it. Now I was a bit undecided how to do this, whether use a cutter just to do the whole lot in one go, like a fly cutter, but then that would mean taking it out of the clamps either end. So it was then a cutter large enough to do each individual letter. Well, the T makes a problem there because you can't really do it without going over yourself. All the other letters you can pretty much go round it, as well, except the A, even you can't do the A actually, you'd have to go round it and go round it again. So either I decided just to use a decent sized mill bit and just do it so it almost looks CNC machined type of kind of finish on it, but obviously it's not, it's manual. I've got a carbide tipped tooling in here. This mill bit really is just overkill for what I'm doing here. There's no need to be using carbide on this, but it's brand new, so I know it's going to give a good finish. As it happens, this is the second prize in the openers competition. I got a pair of carbide mills, so this is the first time I'm going to use this. So right, we're going to run this over and see what sort of finish we can get. So I've just done the roughing cut. You didn't get to see that because the battery went flat. Anyway, well, you saw it until I think I got to about here anyway. So pretty much I've got it now to where it just about covers all the porous surfaces. And I've done a couple of test cuts to find out which is the nicest way of cutting it. And it looks like it's cutting it left to right does a far nicer job than going on the y-axis. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put on some WD-40, or maybe I'll probably use a bit of diesel just to help. And I think I'm going to just do what I'm going to do it right now. I think I'll just put on, it's 0.5 of a cut, don't want to go that deep. So 0.1, 0.2 mil. So 0.2 mil, and I'm going to go left to right. one thing I will say before I do it, I know I've got a 16mm cutter on here, so I'm going to move over half that width every time. So I've changed over to a 10mm long high-speed steel, and the reason I've done that is because obviously I've got a lot more height in and around it. I could have moved the bloody clamp, I suppose, thinking about it, but so I'm going to try and use this to mill down the edge, around that curve and down here, which can be a little bit tricky, but we'll see. I don't want to be sticking my head in front of the camera, but it's probably going to happen from time to time because I'm going to see what's going on. But anyway, first thing is this edge, because that's relatively straightforward. This sounds so much worse on camera. I mean, really it does sound bad on camera. But even so, I wasn't happy with it. I could hear it vibrating, and it was just like, I've got to do something with that. So, swapped out, shorter end mill, and gave in and moved the clamp. It wasn't such a big deal. Don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. So that quietens it all up. Anybody who does YouTube videos must do the same as what I'm doing right now, and sitting here thinking, why did I do it like that? I'm now thinking I should have just cut around the edge with the bandsaw and finished it off with the air linisher, which I had to finish it off with the air linisher anyway, so this seems a very long-winded process compared with a bandsaw. Right, so I've moved round to the other side, and I'm going to do from the top of the T stroke K and along to the top of the A. Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, I did. Put the camera where I needed to be, so the camera could see, meant I couldn't. Now as soon as the tone changed, I knew what had happened. It was just like beep, beep, beep. But there you go. Well, off camera, I've just gone round the edges with a air linisher. I didn't bother filming it because basically it's quite boring, it's very noisy, and you don't really want to be seeing that. But anyway, the end results are nice clean edges, if I can get that decent. There we are. And all in all, looks pretty good. Although you can see lines on it, to feel it, it's virtually, well, there's next to nothing there. So you could quite easily polish that up, I reckon, to a mirror finish. But either, that's that one. And considering it was a failed cast, I had asked him if he wanted anything like this, and he was like, I don't think so, but we'll see when I show him. So anyway, that's it for this one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Please subscribe, because it does make a difference to me. Ring that bell if you want to be notified of when I post videos, because I don't post them mega regular. You know, I've got a life, and making videos is just something I enjoy doing, so they're not too regular. But so if you ring that bell thing, apparently it lets you know that I've put a video up. In the meantime, I'll catch you next time. Thanks very much. Ta-da. bye.